we put together when we were forming the coalition to go out and solicit for support for the dam project. So we felt it was important to push the harsh realities into it and say what we've done, what the city's done, and to move forward. And we got tremendous response from that. And I will say kudos to Gene, my editor, and all that. I do the writing, he does the rest, and it's a great job, and I'm proud of that. Okay. Cognizant of everyone's time. And there's, I think, you know, I can talk forever, so the only way to keep me from talking forever is for me to write it, so I read it. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming. Before we get started, I'd like to identify all the staff and identify the invited guests. And please don't let me miss anyone. And let's just go around the room. If you guys would, just state your name and what you do. Gary?
Gary, Director of Operations and Maintenance.
Yuri, Director of Asset Management. Tony Reynolds, Distribution Superintendent.
Wendy Monteiro, HR Manager.
Felix Francis, Mayor's Office.
In the back row. Jawan.
Ryan Roberts, Maintenance. Mr. Nader. Ian Quains, Chief Operating Officer. Jacob Lewis, Electrician.
Mike Carl, Foreman for Maintenance.
Lab Supervisor. Aaron Snyder, County Superintendent.
Joe Moore, Operator.
Clint Waltz, Operator.
Nathan Gray, Lab Technician.
Ryan Kemmer, Operator.
Sue Rockwell, Administrator. Maria Delgado, Mayor's Office.
Eddie Moran, Mayor City already.
Pat Bauer, Infiltration Superintendent.
Amy Steyer, Theater Manager.
So, you got a pretty good cross-section here of RAWA and the complexity that really exists. To begin the event, I'd like to ask everyone if they remember where they were 2 years ago, what they were doing. I do. Tony Reynolds and I were riding together looking at a few completed jobs when we got a call from our neighbors across the river, the Western Berks Water Authority. There had been a horrible accident and they needed our help immediately. Off we went, not knowing how bad it was going to be, without regard for ourselves and just to help our neighbors in distress. The rest is sad history. A big part of what we in the water industry do is help each other, no matter what the situation is. We're gathered here today to discuss the recent issues RAWA experienced at our filter treatment plant. Thank those that helped us in our time of need and to provide an opportunity to recognize National Safe Water Drinking Week. A small moment where we can recognize the efforts of everyone in the industry, most importantly our people. On to business. At the present time, our filtration plant is operating back to normal conditions. Other than a few pieces of equipment laying around, yet to be returned to the rightful owners, the plant has no evidence there was ever an event here. Our filters are working incredibly well. We are monitoring water conditions closely and will continue to do so indefinitely. Permanent changes will be made in our source water quality monitoring. Being in the position we are right now can only be attributed to two things. One, an excellent RAWA family and assistance from wherever we needed it, and individual American ingenuity. We are all proud of the efforts of the family, each and every member. Every associate played an important part in our successful resolution of the issue. But I'd be remiss if I did not give kudos for a job well done to certain members of the RAWA family. To our operators, well done. Well done. To our chief operator, Neil Quaintance, well done. Only a licensed operator could fully appreciate your efforts, but your hard work and dedication was on display 100% of the time through the entire incident. Thank you all. To Neil, special kudos on a job well done. Your dedication, leadership, and ingenuity, we'll call it ingenuity, allowed the system to continue to meet the demands as we work through the problem. Without your commitment and ideas, and more importantly, willingness to try new things, who knows where we'd be. Your actions avoided a true catastrophe. Thank you very much. To all the other individuals I did not mention by name, your efforts, no matter how big or small, are appreciated and did not go unnoticed. The list is much too long to thank everybody by name. I personally thank you for all your efforts. The executive team and managers, thank you all. From Chairman McCracken and the board, thank you all very much. He's traveling or he would be here. Once again, we impressed our leaders. Our customers, thank you too. Residential and customers alike. They really rallied behind RAWA. The compliance to the 15% mandatory conservation order made a huge impact on the recovery. The water normally consumed went into the tanks and immediately provided adequate pressure across the city. We were prepared to fight fires, and when our 4-alarm fire occurred, our firefighters had the necessary water to save lives and property as expected. Immediately after identifying the actual cause of the clogged filters, process changes were made to our water supply, Lake Onaloni, and to our treatment process. Those adjustments resulted in an expeditious full recovery of the plant. Again, today we're back to normal operations. Without our customers' cooperation, the cooperation of the Reading Fire Department, Berks County Emergency Services, the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection, Philadelphia Water, Spot Stevens McCoy, City Council, the administration, and the mayor, we could not have recovered so quickly. And I just want to make something clear. It's really important when you're in the middle of a fight that you don't have distractions. And the mayor knows that we had distractions. And they went totally, landed on the desk and never came to me. That was greatly appreciated. It was recognized for what it was, and a self-serving attempt to keep their business open. We had one business in the entire service area that did not want to cooperate with us. One. Every single other one did. The power plants couldn't have done anything more, our two biggest customers. Cartech was on the phone with us. Gary and Tony and the guys can tell you, we were on the phone with all of them. The school district, great partner, super great partner. Dr. Murray was wonderful. I said to her, she asked me if I should close the schools. I said, I'm not the weatherman. I said, all I can do is say I wouldn't, because I don't think this is across the whole city. What you're seeing is going to be isolated, and we feel comfortable we can keep it isolated. I want to ask our plant superintendent, Pat Bauer, to provide a short technical summary of events leading to the incident and an explanation of the processes used to bring the plant back to normal conditions. And at the end of the press conference, we'll all be available for specific questions. Patrick?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Over the course of the past few weeks, we noticed that our filters needed to be backwashed or cleaned more often. And this was because they were taking heavier and heavier loads from our raw water. Normally when this happens, we're able to just adjust the chemicals a little bit and it quickly resolves. But when that didn't happen, we immediately called in our engineering support groups, Spot Stevens and McCoy, and water services professionals. We also called in our chemical manufacturer, USALCO, to help us try and understand what was going on. The consensus from all these groups was that the substance we used to settle the mud out of the water, the coagulant, should not contain a polymer where ours did. So we worked with the DEP to have that changed, and they also recommended with the warm, dry winter that we should look at algae as possible cause. So we asked Philadelphia Water to send a specialist. We sent samples out to various labs across the country, and they all came back with the same result, that we did in fact have an algal bloom in our source water, a type of algae called Synedra, which forms long chains and links together and clogs filters quickly, and also doesn't react well with the polymerized coagulant. So with the DEP's approval, we changed chemicals. Our source water protection crew spread an anti-algal agent in the lake, copper sulfate, and while this quickly resolved our problems here, by that time the filters were no longer able to filter enough water to meet the city's demand. As Mr. Murray said, just the cooperation that we got from the industries like Birdsboro Power and Ottawa Energy in cutting back, and the citizens' help allowed us to quickly recover and restore our distribution tanks to their proper levels for firefighting and water.
Great. So we can all be proud of the team's effort, the cooperation of council, the mayor, the administration, everyone who aided in any way. Returning back to my opening comments, 2 years from now, will you remember where you were and what you were dealing with? I think I will. More importantly, will you remember the people that helped RAWA? It is usually RAWA lending a helping hand. In fact, it's always RAWA lending a helping hand. This time, it wasn't that way. It was rewarding to have everyone's support as we went through this. Let's never forget, we too can be in need of help. Thank you all very much, and I'd like to call my friend, the Honorable Mayor Eddie Moran, to make a few comments. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. What can I say after Bill took the show and ran with it and shared probably every topic that I was going to touch on. So I'm going to go off script and speak from the heart. First of all, I'm saying thank you, Bill. Thank you for your commitment to RAWA and for all you do along with your staff for the city of Reading. Thank you to the staff, from management to directors to everyday employees. Thank you, because your commitment is that we are able to function like many other people cannot when it comes to the utilization of water. I am grateful for the relationship I have built with RAWA and our board of directors along with management, how we come together and commit to not only provide the best water possible in the region, but also to be in support of community needs. Whenever something outside of your everyday jobs is needed, such as collaborations, where there is Wacky Water Wednesdays, where there is the patching of streets, and RAWA does a lot more than just provide safe drinking water. Bill mentioned a lot of the different items of why water is so important, and something that sometimes I believe is taken for granted. I am one that probably being raised in unlike many countries that don't have running water, being raised in cities that had the ability to have good, safe drinking water, never appreciated enough what it takes to make that possibility until about 5 years ago, when this little storm called Maria devastated the island that I was raised in, Puerto Rico, and my mother, my family, and the majority of the island went without running water for months. And then it was how I appreciated a little bit more than ever how important it is, the fact that you guys make sure we have safe drinking water on a day-to-day basis. So for that, I am truly grateful for RAWA, for the service that you provide. I do want to read a proclamation which states, whereas water is our most vulnerable natural resource, therefore access to safe, sufficient water supply is a recognized human right to sustain life and ensure well-being. And whereas drinking water serves a vital role in daily lives, serving an essential purpose to health, hydration, and hygiene needs for the quality of life our citizens enjoy. In addition, tap water delivers public health protection, fire protection, support for our economy, and the quality of life we enjoy. And where we are all stewards of the water infrastructure upon which current and future generations depend. Our ability to provide safe drinking water relies on continued investment in our infrastructure and in activities that monitor and mitigate potential threats. And whereas the hard work performed by the entire water sector, designing capital projects, operators ensuring the safety and quality of drinking water, or a member of a pipe crew maintaining the infrastructure community relies on the transport of high quality drinking water from its source to consumers, taps, and whereas the citizens of our city are called upon to help protect our source waters from pollution, practice water conservation, and get involved with their water by familiarizing themselves with it. Now, therefore, be it resolved that by virtue of the authority vested in me, I, Eddie Moran, Mayor of the City of Reading, do hereby proclaim May 7th through May 13th as Safe Drinking Water Week. Again, I am truly honored to say thank you to each and every one of you for your commitment to not only provide safe drinking water, but to have a system operational for all to enjoy. So from management, directors, to supervisors, to operators and pipeline workers, I say thank you. God bless you. Have a good day.
Thank you, sir.
Picture. All right.
Let's get something to eat. Yeah. So that wraps up our presentation. If there's anybody that's got a specific question, we can just mingle around as we enjoy lunch. Feel free to dig in. And thank you all for coming. Again, thank you all for what you do.
Any questions?
Anybody got questions?